chicken 65 and that too in a samosa. Yes, we have done it many times, especially when we have leftover chicken 65, we cut it and it became famous in one of my restaurants. So this chicken 65 samosa, very easy to make. It is just a creation that we did and it went to be good. So first thing is you got to take the chicken, cut it into small pieces, or else if you have leftover chicken 65 is good. Then this chicken has been brined, that means it has been soaked in the salt water for 3 hours, so it becomes nice and juicy. In this you can add a little bit of ginger garlic paste, the same recipe as your chicken 65, add chili powder, some curry leaf and add the spices little by little, some crushed pepper, some garam masala, very little of coriander and cumin powder, that's it. Mix all of this and you can see that if I put this chicken into the oil, some of the masala will come out. So you can add any kind of flour you have, just mix it. Anyway, this is going to go inside the samosa, so I did not add any color as such, but if you want, you can always add a little bit of red color to give that chicken 65 effect. Whenever you add little flour, also add little oil so that for dropping these chicken pieces into the oil, you will be able to drop it easily. Another thing a lot of people hate to add, but it gives a very nice flavor, is flavoring salt. Just very little of it will give it that extra punch and nice taste. Just fry these chicken pieces. This will take very little time because very small pieces of chicken. So just drop it in the hot oil and fry it for just 2-3 minutes. Do not fry it too much, otherwise the chicken will become dry. In a samosa, you want it to be slightly juicy. Good. Just right. Perfect. That's it. Now let's make samosas. Making samosa is very easy. All you need is all-purpose flour. In this, add salt and we need to do short crust method. Short crust method is when you eat a samosa, the samosa should not stretch. You should be able to bite in easily. That is where we apply the short crust, and you can add any fat. You can add butter, you can add ghee, you can add any of the vegetable shortening, even oil. So here I am adding some ghee as well as some white butter. You can add anything, and always when you add, just make it like a crumb. This is what is the short crust method. This is what we do in all kind of baking, especially when we are making cookies. How do you get the cookies that nice crunch? It is because they take the flour, they put in a machine or they do it with hand. They make sure this flour is coated with that little fat, and when you use butter, the taste is even more wonderful. Another ingredient that I love, whether it is bhaji, samosa, is ajwain. Some people also add jeera. Add very little, and in this add very little water and make a kind of a stiff dough. So add little by little, that should be good enough. Just mix this, make like a dough and let it rest for at least 10 minutes. Then we will be able to make the samosas, and your samosas will come out nice and perfect. I have got my small pieces of chicken 65, and in this I am going to add eggs. Just take eggs with the yolk, just crush them. This will give very good taste to your chicken 65 samosas. Add a little bit of salt, some more crushed pepper for the eggs, some chopped coriander, and also squeeze in a little bit of lime juice. And the reason why I am doing this is, if this mixture is not tasty, your samosas will not be tasty. So look at this, just mix this. Now Mamma mia. So let's make samosas. You have to understand one thing, that when you rest the dough for like 15-20 minutes, when you roll it, you don't need to use any flour, because I already added around 20-25% of fat. So whenever we make samosas, to get that short crust effect, that is what we do. Then you can divide it the size you want. Let's say I want like small samosas, cocktail samosas or medium sized samosas. Take the dough, roll it in an egg shape. So just, you don't need to use any flour for rolling this, because a lot of people, they add the flour. If you do that, your oil will spoil. So just roll it. I'm going to make medium size samosas, not big, not small. But you have to roll this dough nice and thin for good samosas. Look at this. Perfect. Just apply a little bit of moisture on the edges. This is a very simple formula for a perfect samosa. Now pull the sheet out and make a cone. Look at this, overlap. And just let it rest on your finger and make sure you seal these edges. Okay, that's when you will have a perfect cone. Now take this chicken 65 pieces and add to this. Now since you have applied moisture to this end, just press it and press it from this side too. Whatever the other small cone comes, press it backwards and press it. Okay. So perfect. When these edges get fried, that will give that crunchiness to the samosa, and this is what people love to dip into the sauce and eat. Imagine, dip it like this and bite those beautiful samosas, and make sure you seal the edges properly and little bit love for this edge. That's it, as simple as this. And these samosas, you can let them sit. Look at them, how it is sitting there quietly and waiting for its turn to get into the oil and become your tastiest food. The same technique, roll it again. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, and perfect. Make sure, give it a nice press, make it sit so that the stuffing gets adjusted a little bit, and perfect. So now I'm going to make slightly smaller samosas, which we call cocktail samosa. For samosa, always fry it in a medium hot oil. If the oil is hot, the dough will get color very fast and it won't be done really kasta, means that bite I want. So here I've got the big samosas. So just drop it in and look at it. It has to start bubbling slowly. That's when you will have your samosas perfect. And when they get in, you can add the smaller, the cocktail samosas. Make sure, if you do not seal the edges properly, they will open up. So once again, give it a little bit nudge and look at it. So usually what they do is they add these samosas and they let them fry in this medium hot oil. And they need to fry for at least 7-8 minutes to get that golden color. If you get it too fast, it is not perfect. When you take the bite of the samosa, the bite has to go right in. The dough should not stretch. So that's when your samosas are perfect. And the excitement is the chicken 65 samosas. Wow. The beautiful thing about the leftover samosa dough is you can make nice papdi. So the salt kara papdi, just the way we roll the samosa sheet, roll it nice and thin. When you have rolled it, take the pizza cutter, just cut it the size you want, then give it a zigzag. Look at these samosas, they're getting color on one side, so turn it to the other side. This slow frying will yield in even coloring. After good 8-9 minutes, you got these samosas, perfect color. Okay, good. If you're keeping it a nice warm place, like in the oven or something like that, you can keep them nice and crunchy for a really long time. The leftover papdi, all you need to do is just take a palette knife and just transfer it into hot oil directly, and you will have these ones fried perfect. Good, good, good. These ones, wow, look at them. They will become nice, crunchy, and whenever you want to eat just a snack like thing, just put it in an airtight container, grab them and eat them. Let them get a little bit of color. These chicken 65 samosas, I'm telling you, with that egg added, it's super delicious. People used to just love it. Did I not tell you? The dough should not stretch. Look at the bite again. It should just go in. Did you see that? That is a perfect bite. You have learned how to make the dough, how to roll it, make samosas with potatoes, paneer, anything. And whenever you use the dough I've shown, the way I've shown, you will get a perfect samosas. My God, this chicken 65 and egg, out of the world. Friends, when you eat this good, you got to do ding chick, ding chick, ding chick.